So this is a backup game. I've had this for a while. It looks really fucking cool. So if anyone likes retro games, this is probably right up your alley. I've never played it though, so there's that. Oh my god, you're right. We're playing Talisman Saturday. Do you know what? You're absolutely right. I will have to find some time to do it. Whenever it's going to be. I feel it's my duty to expose how shit that Kickstarter campaign was. Beating heart. Press start. So this game's called 19AX. And it's like a throwback to all the old retro style games. So I think you get to play different genres of games, which is really, really cool for like you old school gamers out there. That was a splatter ice cream. So yeah, this is not the full game, by the way. This is not a full-on beat 'em up. It's like a mix of different stuff. Yeah. No, and you'll see why in a minute. That sound effect of like the enemies hitting the floor sounds like God, what was that game on Eternal Champions? It's got a bit of splatter ice cream and a bit of Eternal Champions going on here. That's a game we still haven't played, Josh. Mother Russia Bleeds. Remember that game? That was another Kickstarter by the, what was it, Watermelon? Watermelon did Persona, didn't they? But you know what? A lot of people said Persona was actually a really, really mediocre JRPG anyway. They said it had really, really bad storytelling. Yeah. It was a novelty of making like an old school Japanese role-playing game in, you know, the modern day, wasn't it? And of course you had the physical copies as well on Dreamcast, stuff like that, so people were interested. Me and my brothers got like a Dreamcast version, physical copy, but the game itself didn't look very particularly that great. But Mother Russia Bleeds, that was another one that was quite controversial, wasn't it, when it came out? Didn't it take ages to come out as well? Yeah. Do you love these old school beat-em-ups, Josh, where you would heal life by eating like turkeys left behind bins and dumpsters? Yeah, toilet pizza from Home Alone too. Would you eat a pizza, Josh, that's just been left on a toilet? Cool, he is whooping your ass. Yeah. Again, I think it's like it's a jack of all trades, master of none. I think that's the idea behind this game. I think it's one story altogether, but you're playing like multiple arcade games. I think, from what I remember. But again, I've never seen this game. I saw like footage of it, and I thought, oh, that's actually a pretty cool concept. Being an old school fan of these games as well, I thought, why not give it a try? This is a backup game I had though, just because, you know, the game we wanted to play, I couldn't get running. That's definitely Axel's boots from Streets of Rage, isn't it? I'm sure he wears white sneakers with like red stripes, doesn't he? Blue jeans. Then he got Terry Bogard's like red jacket. Oh, Oddie, I watched a recent horror movie. Oh, he's got... Oh, look how the camera's panning out. That is fun. I like that as a touch. That's really cool. Like, this is the greater picture. The game doesn't mean anything. Look at the street lights. That is cool. Because the game itself doesn't mean anything. I think that's what they're trying to show here. Yeah. The kind of like city line, skyline, always reminds me of Streets of Rage, you know? It is iconic, yeah, there's like the lights. But if anyone actually has, you can see these like kind of shots in China and stuff like that as well. Their city lines are, cityscapes are amazing at night with all the lights. It sounds so 80s. This reminds me of loads of movie soundtracks, actually.
There I was, up in my room.
Are we a boy or a girl?
Like every other night, counting taillights on the highway. Soon the cars below would reach the city. But me, I'd still be here, stuck in sleepy suburbia. Or so I thought. But sometimes extraordinary things will happen if you just let them.
I was born in the 80s, Josh, late 80s. I'm very lucky. Josh was as well. Very, very lucky. Is it me, or is 80s so in still? Everybody wants to be born in the 80s or grew up in the 80s, don't they? Especially this younger generation. They're like, my generation's fucked. I wish I was born back then, where life just seemed to be a bit more simple, a bit more genuine. A lot more fun, less stress, you know. Everything's very serious. It's serious business these days, living. The repercussions of a single message, you know, on social media can, you know. Music Kashiro, Yuzo Kashiro, there you go. What more do you want out of a game? Hey, don't you say that about my mate who he didn't steal any music, Josh. It was inspired by, okay? Maya Tuttle as a kid. But what I liked about the idea of this game, I think we play as a character that kind of jumps through these kind of different games and with an overarching story. I thought, what a great concept for a game. I'm sure it's not the most original, but I just, you know, for me, I was like, I'd like to see it.
The gameplay's decent.
I mean, it opens up with a side-scrolling beat-em-up, which is like classic. The presentation is very nice as well. I like all these shots.
Yeah, it is.
God, does this might make you, Josh, want to get back to the 80s? Oh, look at the art style. I love it. Look at the Walkman on, ignoring the whole world.
Welcome to suburbia, just outside the city. Sometime in 1980X.
When kids used to play outside.
What you see around here,
that doesn't happen no more. Too busy playing Fortnite.
Because it was all that I knew. It was here that I'd met my first friends, rode my first bike, found my first love, and found out that nothing lasts forever.
I tell you what, the music's pretty fucking cool.
This is the place I grew up in and grew out of. A place I loved and hated. I remember walking around these blocks for hours, just waiting for something to happen. I knew I needed to move forward, but every day felt like I was on a road to nowhere. The same office buildings and cheap restaurants, the grocery store, the laundromat, and the video rental place, where Dad used to take me on the weekends. He'd be looking for classics, while I was more into superheroes. Oh man, we could go on forever. then. We didn't go there anymore. It was no big deal.
Are we reflecting as an older person as we were a child about like the times of the 80s, or is
These
this in the
days,
current time, present
I
time?
was just looking for anything that could make my heart skip a beat again. And that was when I found it.
Oh, what did we find? What, the arcade? What is it?
The factory was built long before I was born, but had been shut down and abandoned for as long as I could remember. Mom used to tell me to stay away from there, but there was something down that pitch-black alley that caught my eye.
It's got to be an arcade, right?
Guts I had to go down the stairs. The basement air was thick with cigarette smoke and 10,000 volts of energy. And in the midst of this electric haze stood an army of high-tech creatures, their huge crystal-clear screens flashing before my eyes. I'd seen video games before. Dad even brought home one black and white model when I was really young. But this was something else. Something you could not take home with you. And this place was definitely no hangout for children. In front of these machines stood some of the coolest, uncool people I had ever seen. They were the freaks, the geeks, the misfits, the outcasts, the real rebels, part of something the outside world could not understand or even knew existed. These guys were all playing trance-like, totally absorbed, as if they experienced something from another dimension. Maybe I could be one of them.
Oh, next game, Josh. Back in the 80s and like 90s now, you know, playing video games was like a nerdy pastime, and it was kind of like, well, I wouldn't say frowned upon, but it was looked at as you being a bit of a nerd. But now, every kid, every girl, even girls and all that lot, everyone plays video games. It's a different world now. It's funny how things just like, you know, move on. Wait until the new GTA comes out. Like everyone's gonna be playing that. It's different. Alright, you carry on. Oh, good old shoot 'em up. Oh, he loves these shoot 'em ups. Does it have auto fire? Can you hold down the button? Oh. Thunder Force 4. I never really got into shoot 'em ups. I know a lot of people, yeah, they are ridiculously hard. Then again, one of my proudest moments streaming was when I played Undead Line on Mega Drive. Online. I mean, I streamed it online, and I actually beat that game without losing a single life, and that game is fucking almost impossible. I was very, very proud. R-Type. Yeah. Gradius. Don't shoot. What do you make of this game so far? Like, the fact that we're playing as some sort of teenager that's, you know, reminiscing about her life or whatever through playing multiple different types of arcade games. Do you think that's a pretty interesting premise? Because I think that's pretty cool. You're going to get a lot of variation in terms of gameplay then, Josh. Seems good so far. Cool. Yeah, shoot 'em ups were always just really, really tricky. The one I actually quite liked, I didn't really play much of it because of how difficult it was. But remember when we used to kind of download pirated games on the Sega Dreamcast? Because everyone did. You got burned them the CDs. People would do like shoot 'em up compilations. And there was one shoot 'em up in particular, which was, it was scrolled this way as you're playing it. So it wasn't a vertical one, it was a horizontal one. You would have this giant laser beam, and you would shoot it back, and bosses would have their own laser beam, and your laser beam would push it onto the bosses, onto them. I don't know what the name of that game was, but I thought that was the coolest shit I've seen. That was, that looked really, really cool. I like that effect, but I can't remember the name. But yeah, going back to Undead Line, that is a vertical shooter that has, like, pure horror theme, but you're a little guy that's walking instead. You're not like a ship, but again, I beat that game without losing a single life on stream. It's actually on my YouTube channel. That was a very proud moment, because that game was repulsively difficult. It is one of the most proudest streams I've had, yeah, because that game was, honestly, if anyone picked up that game, you will get your ass whooped, honestly. You'll have to practice a lot. This is not very true to arcade games though, because arcade games you'll get about 20 seconds of gameplay before you got to put in your next 50p or pound. The problem with arcade games is they milk you so badly. It's like, oh, I remember oh fuck me, what was a zombie game called? House of the Dead 1. You could last maybe like 1 minute before you got to put in another pound. They'd kill you outright in seconds. It just didn't seem to wasn't really fair with the way you put your money in. But a lot of them were like that, you know, they would just steal your money. Well, some of the legendary arcade games, Josh, you played. Any ideas? Any memories? Yeah, because we used to play in the arcade a little bit. Not, you know, I was still quite young, you know, I was born late 80s, so it wasn't like I was in my teens through the 80s. That wasn't the case. You played Final Fight in Western, did you? We played Night Slashers down Burnham-on-Sea. I don't know if anyone remembers that, if anyone was down there. That was amazing. We actually finished Night Slashers as well, which was a great game. Splatterhouse 1, I played. I remember playing the Terminator 2 light gun game with the actual gun and sitting in like a little booth when I was a kid, thinking this is so cool. Cool, the Mega Drive game though is shit. Hopefully they don't make any of these games too challenging, because I'm sure Josh doesn't play many of these genres anymore. Yeah. I guess they're not expecting you to be like a master of any of these. It's just more of like a mishmash, isn't it? So I'm guessing that this whole game is just like a love letter to the old school arcade games, saying how life was like different back then, a lot more fun, a lot more stress-free, and having a bit of a get out with your other like misfit friends. Tell you what though, the animations and the graphics on this game so far has been very, very impressive. But it'd be worth putting a super shot in, Josh. Can't tell how much health it's got. Does it even have a health bar? Because I can't see any. That was a really cool animation. Blood just running out of a robot. Does robots bleed? Oh, this one's actually got a... This actually got tissue. Oh, Time Crisis was great. Oh my god, I love Time Crisis. I actually had it on PS1, but being a kid would be about 2 feet away from the TV, so you'd be pushing your gun up against the screen. It was so silly, but yeah, Time Crisis was a classic. Oh, remember Silent Scope as well, where you actually had a sniper rifle.
It wouldn't be
You could
fair
actually
to
put
say
your
I
eyes through the
didn't do my
lens as well.
best in school. At least for a while, I really tried to make it work. But now, walking those hallways with all those people, I wasn't really there. I was on an asteroid somewhere, fighting space invaders. But then there was her.
Oh, she looks so cool.
This punk rocker.
San Junipero vibes from Dark Mirror, no, Black Mirror.
She was the wildest thing
Is it going to
I've
become a
ever
giant
seen.
lesbian like relationship?
Oh man, that girl was born a rebel.
She's a rebel.
Free to go wherever she wanted to.
That's the biggest car I've ever seen.
Free in a way I could still only dream of.
Oh, it's cool because her life's going to be unfolding through arcade games, you know?
Yeah.
So now we're playing as her kind of, what, a crush or inspiration or I don't know. Oh, it's like Outrun. Is it Outrun? Even to this day, my favourite racing game of all time is still Road Rash. Can you believe that?
Well, 1 and 2, yeah, they're rules.
Oh, I love Road Rash. I could play that now.
Extremely different with Road Rash.
Yeah. I just love the way they're kind of mixing it all up, all the games, but they're making it easy enough for you to get through so you can get a taste of nostalgia, if that makes sense. It's a pretty charming game. Yeah, I love Road Rash. I like Carmageddon was pretty good as well. I enjoyed that. Even though the N64 version got blasted, I still liked it. That's considered like one of the worst games on N64 as well. Carmageddon. I used to play the shit out of it. It was a fun game at the time, but looking back it might be awful. I tried to play Carmageddon on the N64 emulator, but it was so bad. There was a lot of problems with it, so I had to kind of cancel. Well, it wasn't good for that fucking game, it was awful. Well, it's that game on Mega Drive where you would kind of start as a car, you'd go in the back of those Sega lorries, and you'd get like powers. Was that Afterburner? What was that game? Was it? Afterburner was a playing game, actually, wasn't it? Oh, what was that name of the game? And then you would turn into like a aeroplane, and then it'd be like a shoot 'em up. It was a mix between like racing and shoot 'em up. I can't remember the name. It was a Master System Action Fighter. Oh my god. Do you know what? I did try to play Action Fighter a couple of years ago. I thought, oh, I could actually get through this game. The game is so hard, I couldn't get past the second level. I was like, oh my goodness, it's a difficult game. Yeah, Action Fighter, I really like that game. Me and Josh had toyed with the idea of playing Road Rash Jailbreak on the channel. What do you make of that, Oddie? Road Rash Jailbreak. I used to play it on PS1 because we actually had a copied version. I know a lot of people say it was awful, but you can kind of play two players because one of them's in like the buggy, the little side piece, whatever it's called, and one of them's actually driving, isn't it? So, and I think the guy in like the kind of the buggy side could actually lean and kind of help you a little bit and attack people driving by. That might be an awful idea, Josh. I don't know.
I think the Jailbreak's not very good.
No, Jailbreak's meant to be pretty bad, but sometimes playing bad games could be just refreshing anyway. It could just be a bit of a laugh on the channel. Because you could play the greatest games of all time, but everyone else has played them already and you haven't got nothing else to add to it, if that makes sense. So playing terrible games can sometimes be like a bit of a winning formula. So maybe it might be a good idea. The presentation in this game is amazing though. Look how good, look how nice these arcade versions are looking. They took all the sound effects out now so you can just enjoy the score.
Started hanging out in the arcade almost every night. Standing there beside the other players, watching every move their fingers made. This was the real thing. Another life was just one credit away. Down here, I found new worlds and new meaning. I could be whoever I wanted to be. Travel to outer space, experience fantasy and fear, or just take a walk on the wild side of town.
Can you run that bike over by any chance?
But nothing could beat the rush of the highway. The speeding cars reminding me that there was a way out, a road to somewhere. The city on the horizon. I'd drive all night to get to that place.
But being a teen in the 1980s though, how many like lawns would you have to mow in order to stay in like arcades all night, every day? It would cost you a fortune. A lot of these games cost you £1. It would last 30 seconds. You'd be skin. If it was winner stays on Street Fighter, yeah, possibly you could be on there all night. But if anyone played some of these old school arcade games, they were incredibly difficult. It wasn't £1 back then, laugh aloud. Do you know what? You're probably right. How much would it have been? Do you know what? It might have been 20p. It's good. Do you know what? It's funny how my brain's wired to think it was £1, because now every fucking game's £1. Still though, it would still cost you a pretty penny for sure. Do you think Billy Mitchell's going to get a cameo? When she talks about how she goes down inside the arcade and there's a tall black... There's a very tall stud with a bad hairstyle called Billy Mitchell. He was on Space Invaders the whole night.
For every visit I made, every game I uncovered, every move I mastered, I felt stronger, more confident.
It's a
Some
bit...
guy said I was nothing but a dreamer, completely out of touch with reality.
The visuals are great in this game.
Down here, I was free. I was in control. No one told me where to go or what to do. The only bad part about it was having to come back up to the real world.
Playing arcade games was cool, but I think she's selling it a little too strong.
Yeah.
It wasn't that rad, I don't think, Josh.
It's fun, but yeah, was it great than ever? Well,
Yeah. I don't think I ever felt like turning into a different person when I was down there.
no.
As enjoyable as it might have been. Right, what's these posters then, Josh? Got Lost Boys, top left, maybe? No, it's not.
Back when we were kids, life was so much easier. You could go from bug collector in the morning to bank robber before bedtime. Anything was possible. Then came high school, and everyone got brainwashed. people started seeing you the way they wanted to see you. Be the brain, be the clown, be the troublemaker, be popular. People would define you in the most convenient way. And then, that's who you are. They say that when you grow up, something inside you dies. I'm still not sure if that's good or bad. When you're a child, shadows seem darker and lights seem brighter. Everything is more terrifying and more exciting at the same time.
Shadow play. Oh, this is a horror game, I suppose. You reckon it's a Shinobi game? Oh, Josh is right. He's on it. Wait, Shadow Dancer, right?
Oh, could be, yeah.
Shinobi 3. It's beautifully done, the artwork, I gotta be honest. It's very, very well crafted. It looks legitimate. If you saw like a 30-second clip to this, you would think it was part of the old school game, wouldn't you? Or
Yeah.
you wouldn't realise it was just a compilation of games. It's interesting though how this character is talking about how difficult life is in the 80s or whatever, you know, or has lost his meaning or luster or whatever. Imagine this generation where I think it is fucked, you know. It was much better and much more simpler in the 80s. It had to be. Yeah, we're living in such bad times right now. It's like, oh, you'd have been very, very lucky, I think, to be born in the 80s or grew up in the 80s, born in the 70s possibly. They put a lot of effort into each game. They could have been their own thing. Yeah, I agree. It does look really cool. I like how it's all tied together by like a her story. I kind of like that. But the gameplay seems fun as well. It's not too difficult or anything, but it's just enough for you to kind of capture that genre of game, you know, without making it too like difficult. I'm curious what other kind of genres it might capture. Do you think there's gonna be a first-person one? Like there has to be. Was there first-person ones in the arcade in the 80s? Like an old-school Doom? Because I don't think there was. Wolfenstein came out on what? SNES or NES?
That was like the granddaddy of more, wasn't it?
Yeah. I'm trying to predict some of the genres they might kind of. You've got to play Space Invader surely, or something like that. Pac-Man as well. Is there going to be a form of that? Oh, they're making a new Shinobi game as well, aren't they? You know the team that made Streets of Rage 4? Is it Lizard Cube or am I talking shit? Or is that the guys who made Wonder Boy? Space Harrier type. Oh, that's a good point. Space Harrier, classic. Yeah, it could definitely be a Space Harrier type of game. That was massive in the arcades. But yeah, they're making a new Shinobi game. It's done by the guys that made Streets of Rage 4. The art style looks really, really awesome. So hopefully it manages to capture what Streets of Rage 4 did. And, you know, it is a very good addition. Because one of my biggest fears about Streets of Rage 4 was that they're going to fuck it up. Because the first 3 games are legendary, for sure. And I was worried that it wasn't going to kind of live up to it. But in terms of gameplay, it was very good. Aren't they doing a Streets of Rage 3D game as well? I did see that. Oh, look at that. It's like a Spirit Away ghost in the background. Did you see that? Oh, this is cool as hell. Maybe the sprite could turn left when you like move left side and make it look a little bit. Shinobi 3, yeah. The nice thing as well, it doesn't kind of stay on one game for too long, because obviously it's a jack of all trades, so you can't keep one on for too long. It's just enough to kind of go, okay, I want to see the next one now, you know what I mean? It doesn't outstay its welcome, because obviously they're not going to have the most complex games, are they, in terms of gameplay? It just keeps it fresh. Oh, you actually have a super bar as well. Oh, yeah. Josh is loving this game. You could actually probably do a slide down there as well. What's the blue bar for? Longer attacks. And it hits harder. But so far, this game's actually impressed me quite a lot. It's very, very neat. It's a cool idea. Every one of these games that it's kind of, you know, becoming, has all been very well done. Oh, fucking hell. I think you might better kind of slide under there. That's definitely the spirit from Spirit Away. Remember that fat thing that eats all that stuff? Look at it. That is cool. Boss fight. Yeah. I guess you just got to outrun it, yeah. I love it. Look at it, it's in the background now. That's so cool. Oh. Yeah. Yeah. Nah, you'll be fine this turn. Oh, have a nice night. Well, have a nice. I was gonna say have a nice job at work. What am I saying? Yeah, thank you for watching. I hope that. Well, let's be honest. The first game was trash. But yeah, we'll see you soon, and we will play that Asylum game. But take it easy and just try to make it through work. I know it sucks. Whoa! When it KO on the spikes?
Yeah, like that.
Oh, Jesus. I wonder if each game's going to get progressively more difficult, actually. That'd be interesting.
You would think so.
Yeah. How fast are you running now?
I'm gonna fight this thing. I'm just gonna keep running on. That's not it.
Is this her treehouse or is this her home? Oh, and it's gotta be home, hasn't it?
I used to love the weekends. Watching cartoons on early morning TV without a care in the world. The whole family together, free to do whatever we wanted to. Going for long rides in our car, me falling asleep in the back seat, and getting carried to bed when we got home. But then this thing with Dad happened. And now, I wasn't sure our family would ever be able to put the pieces back together. Being home alone with Mom, watching her too fall apart. I couldn't stand it. I had to go somewhere. Anywhere. I just had to get out. I used to fantasize about the city. Vaguely planning my escape, but never actually getting on the train. Instead, I kept hanging around at the video store, seeking comfort in made-up stories where I could pretend I was someone else. Mom would always tell me to quit dreaming and get back into the real world. I couldn't care less. That night at the arcade, everything changed.
Should we have one again?
She met Billy Mitchell. For real this time. The legend. Kill. Scream. Slay 3 dragons to escape the maze. I am overboard. I will keep you. Well, we're playing a horror game.
First person maze.
God, yeah. Were there actually any arcade games that were first person like this, though? I thought that would probably be more of a home console kind of thing, you know, early home console or home PC. Well, this game is really having a go, isn't it? It's trying so hard.
No, fair play to it.
It's very, very impressive. They've managed to, you know, capture the aesthetics of all these games beautifully. Wasn't Slash the highest damage? Oh, maybe not.
It's going to be a different way.
The beam is shit. This is a type of games that don't age very well, though. Like these very, very primitive 3D games.
Yeah.
Where like the old school JRPGs, even though they're very, very old, just through their storytelling gameplay, it just always will hold up. But these types of games, I'm not so sure. Outside pure nostalgia, I don't know if anyone would actually go back to play this type. Holy shit, Josh, he is fucking you up big time. Oh. Wow. Push to get up. Keep pushing buttons, Josh. God, that was harsh. Let's move the directions up around. Push right. We are stuck. Oh, how did you manage that? Oh. Off you go again.
Right, at least you have to keep them around. It should keep your XP.
Gotta level yourself up a bit. Did you ever hear about this game before we played it? Never heard of it? At least this is a bit of a treat. I think, you know, for me, I think the main character's a little bit too emo at the moment. Like, down on their fucking luck non-stop. It's like, oh, come on. It wasn't that bad in the 80s, surely. Until they met their, whoever it is. It's going to be the girl, obviously, with the black leather. Syntax broken? Come on, Josh. Best thing to do all three. 100 HP. Do you know, the music's pretty good. I reckon it will probably be... I think stick with hack. It's doing a very... yeah. Nice. Audie, what do you think of this game so far? I haven't really asked you yet. What's your thoughts of this compilation of arcade games? But having like that one thread running through all of it, like the story of that girl who's very down on her luck, very upset with the world. That only true escape is the arcade. Sure, I like the music though. I know best. Yeah, it seems pretty good. I like the story. Titan, but yeah, a little too emo at the moment. Yeah, do you feel the same way, Josh, or am I just being a bit of an asshole? Oh, that I like this enemy. That is cool as shit. Robot army. That is cool. I like that. The aesthetics, the art direction, pixel art's all just absolute top notch in this game. It's got to be said. The animations, the quality of this, the graphics in this game is just awesome. Whoa, you completely demolished them. Do your homework. Ain't got time for that. Did anyone do their homework in school? Were you a goody two-shoes, Josh? I was one of those kids that would literally copy my friend's homework literally in the same class that we handed it in. What was really funny about it, the more I think about it, you know, like when someone does their homework legitimately and they write the most outlandish answer possible, and like the teacher's going, where the fuck did you come out with that rubbish? You know what I mean? Like, what? But then other people copied that outlandish answer, and obviously it's so clear that this person's just been copied from, because, you know, coming up to that answer is ridiculous. That's what's always, when you think about that, that's funny. You just know everyone's been copying the same shit. Yeah. I was so like not ready for school. I was so unprepared. Beautiful beam might have been good for them because they're all like robots.
Yeah, this is the hack's like strongest.
This could be the greatest game, Josh, we've ever played. It's good. Hey, wait a minute. This is a boss. Oh, he's laying it on thick, isn't he, this dragon? That image of that dragon falling apart reminds me of the image. I'm going to sound really crazy, but the Karate Kid image, there's, I'll take a Master System, that game. There's an image of a dragon in the background. It looks just like that when it dies. Maybe they took it, I don't know, but, the Karate Kid. Well, the encounter rate is certainly high. Fucking hell.
Well, one right left.
You should play UFO 50 sometime. Goon RPGs 2 and 8 years to make. Sorry, hang on. It's hard to read the text box there. You should play UFO sometime. 54 games, including RPGs 2. The dev 8 years to make and won best indie game of the year. UFO 50. When did this come out again? UFO 50. Have you ever heard of that game, Josh? I've never heard of this game. What is it? Just like a 54 games?
Yeah, remember Action 52?
Action 52.
That, but, like, done, like, right.
Oh. Last year. Oh, it's new. Oh, this is something out of fucking System Shock, isn't it? Oh, no. Gotta be a beam, surely, Josh. Breaking our defenses down. 1 HP. Story boss. We'll have to look at that UFO 50, Oddie. Storyline boss. Yeah, it's meant to be amazing. I'm gonna have to look into it. So it's 50 games. What kind of games? We're talking about old school arcade games, like what this is kind of doing. I'm gonna quickly look on it on my phone. Wow, it does have a lot of likes. 5 out of 5. 5,750 likes. Fucking hell. UFO 50 is a collection of 50 single and multiplayer games from the creators of Spelunky, Downwell. I know those two games. Erland, Seask. Wow. Okay, well, I don't have time to check all that out because that sounds like that's a lot of information. Okay, I'll check that one out. Maybe give that one a go on stream when we got time. But 50 games, how'd you get all day out?
That night, I honestly couldn't say. I was still there, but nothing was the same.
Come on, Josh, you got to power this arcade up. Come on. You're being lazy. Come on, faster. Oh, what? What's going on now? Is this like the video game memories? They're coming to life. What, is your arcade shut down or something now, finally? Is that character meant to be a guy? The voice sounds...
not over.
I think it's meant to be a girl.
It was just beginning.
19 8X. Bit of an anticlimactic ending. what did the story teach us, really? Unless there's more to the gameplay. Oh, I don't know if there is a to be continued. I like the idea of it, but it feels like the story's half-baked. Like some... What about the girl that we were admiring, you know?
Well, to be continued, it's not even a full story.
Is...
So
Right, can someone type 1988X? Is there a sequel to this game?
if there's a part 2, I mean, yeah, it'd be fun to play. It's kind of just in case. Yeah, well, I mean, not baked in, but it was right.
Yeah, I'm not sure how to feel about that ending. I don't think it... Unless there's a sequel, that's kind of like...
It's just anticlimactic.
Yeah, what about the kind of character we met? And it just felt like it didn't really have too much of a... You know. Right, let me see. Can't end it like that. Yeah, pretty disappointed by the ending of this game. It didn't wrap up anything, did it? It just left open, and I just checked the you know, the discussions. There's nothing about a sequel. So yeah, I can't rate it too highly because it's like it feels unfinished.
It is unfinished.
It's only it's an hour long. It's very nice. It's a very cute little game, but
Well, we need to see, we need a follow-up.
yeah, I think it needed 1 or 2 more games, and you need to tie the story in and have a purpose. Because right now we're like, what did we get out of it? Yeah, she met a girl in there, and it kind of, and we only saw her once in the whole story, and now she's once again is depressive or something. But the arcade games are, you know, were they memories at the end coming out of her head? I don't know.
It's like, it's just nothing to explain.
But all I know, it said we'll be back or to be continued. So it feels like it's an unfinished premise. But again, it was very, very well done. Artistically, brilliant. All the games were really cool. It was very well put together. I just felt like needed a little extra on the ending there, just kind of make it feel like it was what the purpose was.
Yeah, it's like a purpose.
Yeah, I was pretty surprised the way it ended. What are these? This must be a Kickstarter for this many names. So this is actually a Kickstarter project by the looks of it, or an Indiegogo. But yeah, overall, I did enjoy it. It was interesting to see. But where's the ending?
We need a part 2.
We do need a part 2.
That was not it.
I think that's it for tonight. Josh, got any more ideas? You done?